Hey y'all! Welcome back to my channel. I'm here again with another speed build. I've got my candle, my blanket, and of course, my lovely, oh, can you see that? Oh, no, you really can't. Lobster socks. Trust me, they're lobsters. Today, most of the video is just going to be a voiceover, but I wanted to come on ahead of time and apologize that it is a little choppy. I only have like a $500 laptop right now, and I'm using Windows 10 DVR, and it's not the best. So it did cut off some stuff, so I apologize for that. The good news is that I have ordered a gaming laptop, like an actually good gaming laptop, and I have a webcam, a good webcam on the way. So pretty soon, probably within the week, I should be able to start using those things to make videos. It'll make taking videos easier, editing videos easier, uploading them easier, so that's coming. In the meantime, editing me is going to get back to editing and continuing to finish an entire bag of goldfish in one setting. But thank you for tuning in. Thank you for clicking on this video. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment down below, and enjoy the video. So I decided to do a build based off of the cover of a book. I'll put a picture of the cover of the book up here. It's called Trixie Belden and the Secret of the Mansion. This is actually a series, a mystery series that was out and published during the 1940s to the 80s. So yeah, in case you were curious about where that's from, I just happened to see it and I like the way it looks. So I decided to make a build of it. You can see in the picture that the windows are partially in like the roof, which I was not really sure how to do. I'm sure there's a way to do it, and where there's a will, there's a way, and also it's The Sims, there isn't a whole lot you can't do. Well, that's not true. But with building, I feel like you actually have a lot of options, and then there's mods and CC and stuff, so there should be something, but I just was not feeling like spending 3 hours trying to figure it out. So I ended up just deciding to do 2 floors and just have that plain straight across roof off on the second floor. So that ended up working out well for me. In the end, you'll see, I think it looked really nice. So I said this in the description of my last video, but I want to go ahead and say it in the actual video. I do have a sinus infection right now as well as an ear infection, so if I sound nasally, that's why. But to be fair, I do have chronic seasonal allergies, so I think that might just be like a constant feature of my voice. So I'm sorry about that. I do hope to get a better microphone soon, so that should help a little bit with the sound quality. So maybe that'll help a little bit with any strange noises or distortion in my voice. So you can see here that I was thinking about doing paneling, because it looks like in the picture on the cover of that book that there is paneling, but after working with it for a while, a little bit later, I decided to go with brick instead. It just felt more appropriate for the build. I don't know, I feel like when it's such a big building like that, it needs to have more structure to it, which isn't necessarily true. There are frame buildings that are quite large, but I don't know, I just felt like it looked too weak, if that makes sense. Like, how are you standing right now? And I actually, this is gonna sound really funny, I actually asked my mom at one point, I was like, I don't know, what do you think? And she agreed that she thinks the brick looked a lot better. So yeah, I'm one of those people who, even as like a full-grown adult, 24-year-old woman, I will get really excited about showing my builds to my mom. I still do it. Pretty much every build I build and every video I make, I'm like, Mom, look at this, check it out, isn't it so cool? And she's just like, yeah, Sarah, it's so nice. She's so sweet. So I wasn't sure when I was doing this build what kind of storyline I was going to go with or who I would want to put in there. And as I was building it, I kind of came up with a story for it. So my mind, it is owned by 2 women who are married, a lesbian couple, and they use it as a foster house. So one of them happened to have a lot of money happen into it, whether it was through inheritance or just getting really high up in their job. And they use this house to foster children. So children of all ages,
toddlers, teenagers, young adults, that sort of thing. So you'll see through the build that I do a lot of rooms and beds so that there's plenty of room for however many foster kids they happen to have at whatever point in time. Speaking of being a young adult, I was just thinking today about the first job I ever had. So the first job I ever had was at a chain restaurant as a hostess, and I was in the back rolling silverware one afternoon, and my boss came over there, and we as hostess and hosts or whatever, we did like go and clean bathrooms, but just like a general cleaning and making sure there was enough toilet paper and paper, not any like deep cleaning or anything. But she came up to me while I was rolling silverware and was like, hey, one of the toilets in the women's bathroom is clogged. Can you take care of it? And I just stood there for a second like, I guess so. So, yeah, sure enough, I go into the women's bathroom, and one of the toilets has a nice long chunky nug just blocking the hole down the toilet, and that thing is stuck. I tried to flush the toilet like 3 times, and it did not go anywhere. I was like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do about this. I looked around in the bathroom for a plunger. Like, she didn't give me any info. She wasn't like, here's what you can do, or here's where the plunger is, or I was just expected to figure it out on my own. This was a formative time in my life. This was a very formative experience. It was just figure that crap out and hope for the best. So I did. I found a toilet brush underneath the sink, and I was like, yes, this will work. So I took the brush, I just stabbed at the nug and made it break apart into smaller pieces, and then I just quickly flushed the toilet, and thank God it went down. Oh my God. It wasn't traumatic, but it was formative. Let me tell you, there is nothing more humbling than being face to face with some random person's excretions. And after that, I was like, okay, what do I do with the brush now? Do I throw it away? I have nothing to clean it with. So what the hell do I do? I was like so bamboozled. So I just ended up, I found a plastic bag, like a Walmart bag. I don't know why we had those or where they even were. I know I had a plastic bag, and I just put it over the end of the brush that I stabbed it with and shoved it back under the sink and was like, well, I did what I was supposed to do, so I guess that's all that really matters, right? I really liked using those wallpapers with the wood base area or the wood bottom half. I really liked that for this build. So that was what I used a lot of. I'm not sure what made me choose that. Honestly, I don't know what makes me choose most things. All I know is that whenever I'm furnishing a house, I take so much time to deliberate. That is why this video is so long, because I want it to be perfect. And yeah, I do have to admit, near the end of my builds, sometimes I do get to the point where I'm just like, oh, I don't care, screw it, just put that there, like, whatever, who cares? But for the most part, I take as much time as I can to make sure everything looks just right. So I've been playing The Sims since maybe I was about 8 or so. My brother is 6 years older than me, and he bought the original Sims and he had it to play on PC, and I found it, and once I got into that age where I was interested in gaming, which was around 8, I started playing The Sims. So I started playing on the original Sims game, and I fell in love with it. I'm not really sure why. I can tell you for a fact that whenever I was younger, for a really long time, what I would do is I would get graph paper out, and I would measure my room and everything in my room and scale everything for 1 square being 1 foot, and then I would rearrange my entire room on that piece of paper before I would do it in real life, and I just loved doing that. And I don't know, maybe that has something to do, I really like furnishing. That's one of my favorite parts of doing builds, so I don't know, maybe it's just an inherent part of who I am. My major is not in architecture or interior design or anything. I don't know, maybe it should be, although honestly I don't think my builds or my interior design in my builds are like that great. They're mediocre. I would say they could be better, but they could definitely be worse. and they're nice to look at least, so that's good. But actually my undergraduate major was in anthropology, and now my graduate major is in business, specifically in MBA. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride. One thing I can tell you though is I loved college. Did not like really any other part of going to school until I got to college. Really was not my thing. So I have generalized anxiety disorder, or GAD. Oh, GAD. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. But I have generalized anxiety disorder. The school environment really, at least my school environment, really was not conducive to being in a healthy mental state. So I struggled a lot until I got to college. And honestly, it kind of sucked. But in my experience, at least, things definitely do get better as you get older. Speaking of anxiety, I actually had been taking anxiety medication for the past 4 years. I actually didn't originally start taking it just because I have anxiety. I started taking it because I was in a situation that was extremely stressful and I just needed something to take the edge off. So that was why I started taking it. Not to say there's anything wrong with people who take it. It just depends on how severe your anxiety was, and mine was at a point where I was able to handle it before that. So here recently I decided to stop taking it because I've been out of that situation for a while. I'm in a pretty steady place right now. So I decided to stop taking it, but whew, it has been an experience. I forgot that I am anxious about driving. Like, not really bad, it's not horrible, but it's just like, I hate driving. I really don't like it. I will do it and I can get by, and I don't mind driving like on the interstate or something, but like when I'm driving in town, I'm just like, oh my god, what if someone hits me? What if I hit someone? Or like after I turn or something, if there was like, I just think of all the ways it could have gone wrong. It's just ridiculous. And oh my god, I am like so irritable. Apparently that is a withdrawal sign. And don't worry, I did talk to my doctor, and you definitely should talk to your doctor if you're going off of medication. But I did a nice slow progression of coming off of it, so it wasn't like there were horrible side effects, but I've definitely been so much more irritable. When I'm at work, we'll get a call, like the phone will start ringing, and I'm just like, like I don't do that out loud, but in my head I'm just like, oh my god, why are you calling? And it's like, literally that's my job, so why am I irritated? But obviously I know it's not just as simple as saying, well, that's stupid to feel that way. So I let myself feel my emotions and I just move on. So that's how I handle it. So how have you all been handling quarantine? Honestly, for the first few months, I was digging it, like really digging it. But after a while, I mean, even as an introvert, I started to get really bored of doing the exact same thing every day. So I have a job where I do have to go into work. At least I have since about mid-June. So I have been working in person, and at least that's something to do, but it's just like the monotony of the day in and day out only doing that is just so exhausting in its own way because it's so boring. But I've tried to break the monotony up. I have one or two people, my closest friends, or the people that I hang out with the most, that I spend time with, and I don't hang out with anyone else. I don't go out drinking, that sort of thing. I try to be responsible. I try to only hang out with people in my house or their house, and obviously be careful of those who are of higher risk. So I do plan on actually doing some streaming on Twitch maybe here soon, once I get my new laptop. And I've never done streaming. I've watched some streams. I've watched some of the streams of my friends, and I've watched some big people like Penguin Zero Critical. I've seen some of Plumbella's VODs, but yeah, I haven't watched a lot of live streaming, but I think it'd be kind of fun. So I think I'm going to give that a shot here soon. And I'll start putting the link to that in my description once I start doing that, so you guys can come check me out. If you haven't noticed by now, I did decide to do kind of a fall/Halloween theme because, oh my god, Halloween is my favorite holiday. I mean, even though I don't really get to do much of anything anymore, and obviously this year there's not going to be any parties or anything, I just really, I don't know, the feeling it gives me just makes me so happy. Like, there's just something about the cool, crisp fall air and the smell of the leaves that I guess are dead, so I guess I'm saying I love the smell of dead things. Wow, never really thought of that. That's actually pretty weird now that I'm thinking about it, but whatever. The point is, I just really like this time of year, and it's just like the beginning of all the holidays, so it's really exciting. So I actually ended up splitting this build into 2 days because it ended up taking me, I want to say, about 5 hours to build total. And yeah, I've gotten to the point where I've realized that I really need to either take a break or wait until the next day, or else I burn myself out and I get so tired by the end of the build that I just don't try as hard. And I think it worked out really well. I came back the second day to do the second floor. I felt really refreshed, and I was like, I am ready to do this. I'm ready to kill them. I'm ready to make this happen. And I think I did okay. I don't know. I think the upstairs ended up looking really nice. I know there are some people who can sit down and do The Sims for like 6 or 7 or 8 hours straight. I'm not one of those people. I have to get up, move around, do something else, astral project for a few minutes. You know, I just have to take a break, or it's just overwhelming. So kudos to those of you who can do that. I could never. That is not me. I did kind of go with a more pink and blue theme on each side for the toddler's room. And I did end up using carpeting in there. I don't know why, but I feel like if I always tend to use carpeting in toddler and baby areas because I don't know why in my mind I think they're gonna fall and hit their head and crack it open when it's The Sims, but it's like just something I just do. Let me know if I'm the only one that does that or not. Yeah, I did end up making a blue room and a pink room. And that is not me trying to support a binary understanding of sexuality and gender, because that's not how that works. I just really like having matching color themes, and I really like pink and blue, so that's what I ended up doing. So, like I said, I am currently working outside of the house right now and have been since mid-June, and I actually work at a public library, and I've only been working there for since the middle of June, so not that long, but I have gotten to experience a few things. Mainly being that I was shocked by how many hairs I would find in books. And I'm not just talking about like cat or dog hairs or something. I'm talking about whole ass adult hairs, just long hairs hanging out of the book. And not just ones that have just been returned or something, like books that have been on the shelf and I'm going to get them for a hold for someone, and there's just a whole ass hair hanging from it. And I'm just like, who knows how long that's been in there? And that's not the only thing I've found in a book before. Just today, I actually opened up the cover of a book, and I guess someone happened to capture a spider in the cover of the book somehow, and they just decided to kill it while it was in there. I'm not sure what the logic was in that one, but yeah, I got to clean the guts off of that, so that was an experience. So, like I said, I have a sinus infection and ear infection right now, and I just keep getting ear infections. Like, the first time I ever got an ear infection was January of 2020, and I was so perplexed by it. And honestly, the weird thing was I did not have any ear pain at all. But when the doctor looked in my ear, she was like, oh my God, yeah, that's really bad. Do you not have any ear pain? And I'm like, no. And then the second time this year, yes, there's more than one time. In the only, how many months has it been? Like 9 months? Not even a full 9 months of 2020, and I've had 3 ear infections now. But the second time I got an ear infection, I got vertigo, which for those of you who haven't had it before, first of all, be very grateful because it sucks. But also, basically, it's just like constantly, chronically feeling dizzy and off balance and nauseous. And honestly, you know, it sounds like if you think about those different symptoms on their own, and if I would have thought about them on their own, I would be like, well, that's just like, you know, it's just like when you have a stomach bug or something. No, it is completely different. It is completely draining. It is like chronic. It's awful. So if you or anyone you know has to deal with that, kudos to them, because it sucks. But luckily I didn't have that for too long. I got on antibiotics pretty quickly after I started having vertigo, so it wasn't too long that I had to deal with that. And this time that I have an ear infection, this third time, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think it ever went away, because I did have some ear pain off and on, like in the last month and a half since I was originally diagnosed with having an ear infection. I wouldn't be surprised if it just didn't ever completely go away. And this time I didn't have any vertigo or anything like that. Just generally, I felt kind of unbalanced and just chronically tired. I honestly feel so lucky to have a job where I don't have to be on my feet all day. I don't know how some of you people go to work when you're sick, because I just couldn't do it. I have had jobs in the past where I was on my feet all day, and there was just, I mean, when I got sick, there was just no way I could do it. Because when I get sick, I get sick. Like, I get sick. Which is why this has been a very uncomfortable time for me. Not only because I do tend to get upper respiratory infections, and I do tend to get them pretty badly, but also because I have chronic allergies, like I said. So, yeah, this has been a weird time to have chronic allergies and be sneezing and coughing and having to blow your nose, like, all the time. Especially now that it's hay fever season. Going back to the house now, I am going to be finishing up here in a second. And for the end of the video, for the little tour, I'll just put on some music so you guys can just enjoy the ambiance, if you know what I'm saying. Just appreciate my artistic ability. Yeah, I'm kidding, I'm not that great. But yeah, I added in a little swing set out there, and I added the fountains just to give it a little bit of extra pizzazz out front and to make it more symmetrical. So thank you so much for watching today, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting with me. Please like and subscribe if you'd like to see some more of my content in the future. And please leave a comment down below if you'd like to. See you next time. Bye!